The Arts Development Company came out of the previous arts and arts education teams within the local authority, and our work then and continues to be around working with different groups within society and different sectors, so whether that's environment, children, young people, health, whether it's around tourism. And we're working with some great organisations who are doing extraordinary work that has massive social impact. We use a set of value calculator tools, including the HACT, Housing Association's social value and wellbeing calculators. And when we enter a range of detailed project outcomes and their associated data, then these tools use the statistics and known values to calculate the overall social value in financial terms that the project has for society. There's lots around the costs of loneliness that are staggering, and the effects of loneliness. Loneliness is as bad as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Many of the arts projects we support connect communities, tackle isolation, and work to improve mental health for people. This in turn leads to measurable improvements in well-being and stronger local communities.
It brings people together, and I think particularly in villages, I think it's important.
Together with a great network of volunteers, Arts Reach connects people in communities, enhancing communities and helping relieve social isolation by bringing professional theatre performances to rural locations across Dorset.
There's a chap called Sed who is very involved.
It's took the loneliness away and it's made me keep busy all the time doing things. You get a sense of belonging and comradeship. We go out and have meals together and everything else, you know.
At Babigloo, new mums from all walks of life with different mental health experiences come together for a unique music group designed to relax babies and aid brain development.
I suffered with anxiety after having Isla. I was quite bad for the first month. So yeah, coming to something like this, you can't leave it in anything else but a good mood.
We had one parent who hadn't left the house for 6 weeks since she'd had the baby, was too scared to leave the house. It was just too daunting. Came to Babigloo on the first session with a support worker. By week 3 she was able to come alone, and by the end of the session she'd already made friends and she'd joined other groups.
No Limits breaks down barriers and challenges negative stereotypes using music and dance that improves the physical and mental well-being of its participants.
Robert started coming to us about 5 years ago and initially was quite quiet, but very quickly we saw that he was incredibly expressive in his body, and how he was when he was improvising, when he was moving, was in quite stark contrast to how he was in the rest of his life. And this was observed by the people that had known him longer at that point.
You see it in everybody, you know. They might come in with their head down and they walk out a different person because they have been creative. They've had joy in their life, they've had social connection in their life.
It's good to mix people together.
I feel happy.
This is not simply paying for something because it's nice to have, it's got a real value. Parkinson's dance science is a fusion of physiotherapy and dance.
One of our main aims is about transforming communities through dance. So it's stimulating people mentally, it's enabling them to connect to other people socially, it's supporting them physically.
It's tackling isolation. It also means if I'm moving better, I'm not going to the doctor every few months saying, I can't do this, I can't do that.
The Choral Project uses arts therapies and psychotherapy, and over a long period works with young people facing difficult challenges.
Being booted from foster placement to foster placement, going back home. I never had any stability. So I guess it's thanks to Koru that I have that stability. I guess it kind of opened up my eyes and realised what I wanted from life and what I was supposed to do from life.
Last year, I think, we had this incident where this kid got mouthy, so then he got beaten up by like 10 of us.
I nearly went to jail for it.
Yeah.
Well, we have young people that we've worked with who were on the verge of going to prison. Yes, they'd suffered domestic violence and trauma, but then through having a loving relationship and a long time to work with the children and this very, very specialised techniques and ways of working does transform these children. There are kids we've worked with who were heading for prison. They're not in prison. They were self-harming. They are not self-harming anymore. They were wanted to kill themselves. They're not anymore.
I don't know how, but somehow painting, drawing and stuff like that just like calms me down.
If you invest in the arts, I think you can gain the knowledge that you are having an impact on an individual's life in all sorts of ways, physically, socially, mentally. The hope would be that that effect will ripple out into their community or to the person they're passing in the street.